everyone. Today it's my pleasure to do a presentation for the leaders of life cycle preparing for the upcoming executive planning day. In this presentation, I will divide it into 4 parts. The first part is the macroeconomy and business cycle. The second part is tariffs and trade wars. The third part is insights from behavioral economics. And the final part is developments in AI and implications for inequality in the labor market. So let's start. In this part, I will introduce 3 key macroeconomic indicators. The first indicator is GDP. It is the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a specific period. The second indicator is inflation. It refers to the phenomenon that the overall price level of goods and services continues to rise over time, resulting in a decline in the purchasing power of money. The third indicator is unemployment. The unemployment rate represents the proportion of people in the working population who are willing and able to work but cannot find a job. Now, I will explain how changes in each of these macroeconomic indicators can provide insight into the business cycle. For the GDP, during the expansion, the economy will improve the production, make an active investment, and the profits will increase, and the recruitment will be expanded. Also, the consumer confidence will be enhanced. During recession, GDP decline reflects the supply will decrease. The company will decrease the production and profit. In the meanwhile, it will have an increase in layoffs and weaken the demand. If GDP declines for 2 consecutive quarters, it is usually regarded as entering an economic recession, which is an important signal of the contraction stage in the business cycle. For inflation, during expansion, economy is developing at a fast speed. There is a higher demand for goods and services and increasing production stress. As a result, the price generally rises. If the inflation accelerates, it foreshadows that economy is approaching its peak. In this situation, the bank will cool down the economy by raising interest rates. During recession, investments and consumptions will decrease. If the inflation drops too low, deflation may occur. The moderate rise in inflation is usually a manifestation of a healthy economy. A sharp rise or drop in inflation often indicates that the economy is about to turn to a new stage. For unemployment, due to the expansion in economy, company will expand the production, increasing the recruitment so that the unemployment rate decreases. During the recession, economic activity is slowing down. Company will cut expenses, implementing layoffs so that the unemployment rate rises. Unemployment is a lagging indicator. It often peaks after a recession starts, but it's crucial to judge the severity of economic fluctuations. Therefore, it is relevant to understanding general economic conditions and the business cycle. For life cycle, during the expansion of economy, consumers are more willing to buy functional food. Life cycle can take this opportunity to expand productions and investments. However, during the recession of economy, consumers may reduce non-essential consumptions with falling demands. At the same time, many suppliers will reduce production, resulting in unstable raw material supply or rising costs. In this situation, life cycle should attach great importance to cost control and risk management and strengthen the brand image to maintain the competitiveness. Also, the government policies will have adjustments, including changing in interest rate, subsidy policies, and environmental protection regulations. Now let's move to the second part, tariffs and trade wars. From the perspective of Australia, it will indirectly affect Australia's exports. Therefore, it will reduce the export revenue of Australia, which will make AD decrease and shift left. Some Australian companies rely heavily on importing raw materials or intermediate products from US. The imposition of tariffs will highly improve production cost, making AS move to the left. From the perspective of United States, the imposition of tariffs will directly increase price export goods, then may cause consumers to turn to domestic products. This change may increase the demand for domestic products in the short term, making AD shift to the right. The import cost of companies in the US will increase, especially those companies that highly depend on foreign intermediate products will face higher production costs, which will make AS move to the left. The imposition of tariffs and escalating trade tensions around the world may impact business environment in Australia. Firstly, it will weaken the company's confidences. What's more, supply chain interruption is a key question. Lots of Australian companies rely on global supply chains to acquire parts and raw materials. Besides, commodity price fluctuations may also be aggravated. For the life cycle, these contents are worth to highly focused by executive leaders at the planning day. Firstly, the company rely on the fungal raw materials and sustainable packaging. The imposition of tariff will lead to an increase on purchasing costs. Besides, the instability of global supply chain may delay the transportation or interrupt. Furthermore, the increasingly global tax trade will cause slowdown economy. The people's income will also be affected, so that people will not be willing to make an expenditure on functional food products. It will pose a challenge to the market sale of life cycle. Now let's move to the third part, insight from behavioral economics. Comparing to traditional economics assumptions that considering people are always rational, behavioral economics considered people will be affected by current preferences, choice, overload, default preference, and so on. Most people tend to pursue instant satisfaction or continue old habits. For such healthy functional food companies such as Life Cycle, it is important to understand this behavioral deviation. Companies can provide simplified selection interface, provide default health matching, and leverage social norms. Finally, let's move to the development in AI and implications for inequality in the labor market. For the unskilled labor, if AI can replace many repetitive and standardized work, unskilled labor lacks transformation skills and be hard to adapt new job requirements in the short term. The demand of unskilled labor will move to the left. But for skilled labor, AI couldn't completely substitute for skilled labor. Instead, it is used as a cooperative tool to improve efficiency. Also, skilled labor can adapt new AI jobs quickly. In this situation, the demand of skilled labor will shift to the right. The impact of AI on different types of jobs is uneven. It always can substitute low skills, strong repetitiveness jobs. As a result, the unskilled labor will face unemployment risks and decreasing in salaries. At the same time, it always improves the requirements of skilled labor, driving the salary increase of technical jobs. Therefore, I consider wage inequality will increase. Skilled labor can benefit from technological change mastering the skills required by AI, then get higher salaries and stable employment. However, for unskilled labor, they will probably fall into long-term low salary or unemployment. In the continuing absence of effective education, training, and policy intervention, the technical benefits brought by AI will mainly concentrate on minorities, aggravating social class differentiation and income gap. That's all. Thank you for listening.